Did you know that Timex got its name by combining the words Time, as in the magazine, and Kleenex, as in the tissue brand? In 1941, the Waterbury Clock Company was acquired by a Norwegian businessman and ship owner who then renamed it Timex. Some sources say that the Time magazine and Kleenex mashing together is a myth, and the second theory as to how Timex got its name is far less fun, but apparently the brand was just looking for a new name that was modern, straightforward, and catchy. But once again, that origin story is so much less fun. There's a lot of brands out there with a lot of weird names, so we are breaking it down country by country and explaining how every watch brand got its name, starting with ground zero for modern watchmaking, Switzerland. And it only feels right to start with Rolex. There's a few Rolex myths. One is that the founder, Hans Wilsdorf, stated a genie whispered the name Rolex to him on a horse-drawn bus in London in 1908. Wilsdorf wanted a short, simple name that could be easily pronounced in every language, and officially filed and trademarked the name in Switzerland in 1908. Maybe he was also a really big fan of Kleenex, and that could explain the X at the end. Who knows? Tudor is named after the historic Tudor dynasty of England, which marked a significant period of change, exploration, and innovation, all things that capture the spirit of the brand. It was originally created to offer the quality of Rolex at a more affordable price, and the brand adopted the Tudor rose as its emblem. Omega got its name from creating the perfect movement. Originally founded as La Générale Watch Co., and later known for the founder, Louis Brandt, the Omega caliber was the ultimate accomplishment, even named after the last letter of the Greek alphabet, to which there is no more. It is the greatest, it is the end, and they even changed the company name to match. IWC, founded as the International Watch Company in 1868, the brand's American founder wanted to create a watch company to sell watches back to the States and internationally, hence IWC. Based in Schaffhausen, IWC has a very unique identity. Breitling was named after the founder, Leon Breitling, who was known for making handcrafted instruments with a straightforward, low-maintenance design. Patek Philippe actually started as Patek Chapek & C, named after the Polish watchmaker Antoni Patek and his Czech-born business partner Franciszek Chapek. Franciszek. Eventually, they had too many disagreements, there was a big divorce, and Patek joined up with Adrian Philippe. Longines got its name from Les Longines, which was a field where the company built their first integrated watch factory. Les Longines translates to the long meadow in the local dialect. Cartier got its name through Louis Cartier, who established the company in Paris in 1847. Audemars Piguet got its name from the two founders, Jules Louis Audemars and Edward Auguste Piguet. This one's kinda cute though, so Audemars and Piguet knew each other in their childhood, reconnected in their 20s, and decided to make a watchmaking thing together. Some would even say it was written in the stars. The Star Wheel. A lot of founders' names here, and Vacheron Constantin follows suit. Founded in 1755 by Jean-Marc Vacheron, and officially became Vacheron Constantin when Jean-Marc's grandson partnered with businessman Francois Constantin. Richard Mille, same thing, founder, but much newer, founded in 1999. Tissot, father and son founders, in Laloc, Switzerland, 1853. Hublot, finally, not a founder's name. Hublot gets its name from the French word for porthole. Moving on to Swatch. There is a myth that it stands for Swiss watch, but according to the Hayek family, it stands for second watch, capturing the fun, silly, kinda low-stakes side of watchmaking that emerged during the quartz crisis. Jaeger-LeCoultre, more founders' names. LeCoultre operated on its own until 1937, when friendship and business colleagues merged into one, LeCoultre and Edmond Jaeger. TAG Heuer. This is a spicy meatball. So, Heuer is a legendary name in the watchmaking world, but in 1985 they were knee-deep in financial troubles. So, TAG, or Technique d'Avant-Garde, acquired the company, forming TAG Heuer. Panerai, it's another founder. Giovanni Panerai established the company in Florence, Italy in 1860. Although Italian-founded, they are Swiss-made, manufacturing in Neuchâtel. Chopard, another founder, Louis Ulysses Chopard, hence the LUC lines in their current catalog. Blancpain. I wish I was sitting here telling you that they are named after white bread. But yet another founder. Established in 1735, they are the oldest registered watchmaking brand. Parmigiani Fleurier, it's another founder's name. Founded by Michel Parmigiani in Fleurier in 1996, so another very young brand. MB&F was founded by a seasoned watch industry person, Max Bucer, hence the MB part of it, and then the and F is for and friends. Max Bucer and friends. It's very cute. FP Journe. I'm actually wearing an FP Journe. It's another name, but a legendary watchmaker. It stands for Francois Paul Journe. He dropped out of school at age 14. His mother was mortified and sent him to live and work with his uncle in the summer, who was a vintage clock restorer with a workshop in Paris. He obviously took to it, and when it came time to make his own wristwatch, for the first time he wanted to make a wristwatch, he insisted on it being a tourbillon. Zenith, finally, not a name. Okay, Zenith, it's their mission to make the highest quality of watches, so the tippity top, so they named their company after the highest point in the sky. Most people don't know that Girard-Perregaux is the most romantic watch brand ever. The brand gets its name from the marriage of Gerard Constant and Marie Perregaux in 1854. Ulysse Nardin was a young watchmaker who established his watchmaking house in 1846. He quickly gained a reputation for precision timekeeping, especially for marine navigation. Oris is named after a nearby brook in the Swiss town of Holstein. The founders just loved that brook. Founded in 1988 by a Dutch couple, Frederic Constant is named after the founders' grandparents. If you are into watches, you will of course know Breguet. It is the namesake of one of the most important watch and clock makers, Abraham Louis Breguet. He invented the tourbillon. He had commissions from aristocratic families all over France, including Marie Antoinette, possibly the most important watchmaker of all time, and certainly the most celebrated. The Breguet name is now owned by Swatch Group and continues to release watches under that name. Mont Blanc, a bit like Zenith, but mountains. Mont Blanc is the highest peak in Europe, and the company wanted to symbolize the pinnacle of excellence. And finally, the last brand in Switzerland that we're going to be talking about. There's, of course, others. There's just so many. Piaget, it's another founder's name. Georges Edward Piaget began his career creating high-quality movements and components and grew from there. Moving on to Germany. Yes, getting out of Switzerland, going to Germany. And of course, we're going to start with my favorite German watch brand, Nomos. If you studied biblical Greek, like I did, you will already know that nomos means law or ordinance. Hence, astronomy. The astrology would be study of, but astronomy is the law of the stars. No one cares, Brittany. I've had the fabulous pleasure and honor of visiting the Nomos manufacturing facilities a few times now. I think it's easy to forget that Glashütte in Eastern Germany is still rebuilding after the fall of the Soviet Union. Watchmaking coming back to the valley is exciting, and Nomos is a big part of that story. Lange und Söhne is carrying on the watchmaking tradition of probably the most important German watchmaker, Ferdinand Adolf Lange. I could make an entire video about Adolf Lange, but I will end my sermon here. Glashütte Original is actually a really interesting one, obviously named after the town in the Ore Mountains where German watchmaking is situated, but the name is almost more of a celebration of German watchmaking. When Eastern Germany and Saxony became a part of the USSR, there was an economic merger of all existing watchmaking companies. Glashütte Original is the memorial to the watchmakers that existed before the Second World War. Moritz Grossmann is carrying on the name of the German master watchmaker of the same name. Founded in 2008, they make high-end watches that are a real, if you know, you know. Let's take a trip over to Japan, baby! Seiko. Seiko. This is the Japanese word for exquisite or precise, previously working under the name Seiko-sha, which would translate to house of exquisite workmanship, which I think has a real ring to it. That's good. Casio got its name from the founding family, the Casios. They got their start making weird finger cigarette holders. I'll have to put a picture on here so you can see it. They then used the capital from that venture to start an electronics company. and the rest is history. Now let's go over to the USA, baby. I've already talked about the Timex fake news, but the other big American brand that I think of is Hamilton. Although their watches are Swiss made, I always associate them with being American. Their name is a tribute to Andrew Hamilton and his son James, who were the founders of the Pennsylvania Watch Company. British watchmaking, something that a lot of people don't know is that Britain was a major watchmaking hub in the 18th and 19th century. Even brands like Rolex were originally founded in the UK. Bremont watches are named after Antoine Bremont, a French farmer who helped the English brothers after they made an emergency landing in his field while flying a plane in France. At first, it seems rather unpatriotic to name your British watch brand after a Frenchman, but I guess the story's kind of cute, but I don't like it. Christopher Ward, another story that takes us to France. Mike France. Christopher Ward is named after one of the three co-founders because his name sounded the most quintessentially English. Garrick Watches is named after the Garrick Club in London. It's a private members thing, super British. This one is a bit more local to me. CWC is the Cabot Watch Company, named after the explorer John Cabot. And last but not least, we have Fears Watches. This is another Bristol thing and another family name founded by Edwin Fears in 1846. The company has been revived by Edwin's great-great-great-grandson, I think that's enough greats, Nicholas Bowman Scargill, NBS, and it is thriving under his leadership. And now you know the origin of so many watch brand names. There are so many more out there. There's so many more that I missed, but I think this is the longest video that I've ever made. I think that's the big ones you have to know. If I missed something huge, let me know in the comments down below, and maybe even write how they got their name so that more people can be educated and more people can know more awesome stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your viewership. Thank you for watching to the end. You're amazing. And now, Pope to your patrons. Get their names on the screen.